Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful document, one that was forged right in the fire of a global financial crisis. It's called the Financial Modeler's Manifesto, and honestly, it's a wake-up call for humility, for responsibility, and for really understanding what numbers can do, and more importantly, what they can't. Okay, so let's just jump right in. The manifesto opens with this super dramatic line, and you have to remember this was written in early 2009. The dust from the 2007 financial collapse was, it was still very much in the air. The authors, Emmanuel Derman and Paul Wilmott, they really wanted to figure out what went so catastrophically wrong with the very tools, the mathematical models, that were supposed to make the whole system safer. So here's how we're going to break down their argument. We'll start with the problem they saw haunting the markets. Then we'll get into the sort of philosophical mistake they think caused it all. After that, we'll explore their big aha moment about what a model really is. And finally, we'll look at their proposed solution for how to move forward. Right. So the authors, they don't beat around the bush. They point directly at the subprime mortgage crisis. This was the moment when all these complex valuation models, the equations that had been trusted for years to price assets and manage risk, suddenly became worse than useless. They actually became dangerously misleading. So you gotta ask, why? Why did these models fail so spectacularly? Well, the manifesto argues that the real root of the problem is a huge misunderstanding. It's this deep, deep desire to make finance act like it's physics. And this is where you really see the core conflict laid bare. I mean, think about it. Physics deals with material things that follow laws you can discover and repeat. You can drop a ball 1,000 times, and guess what? It's going to fall the same way every single time. But finance? Finance is made of people. It's driven by these fleeting things like fear and greed and wild guesses about what everyone else is thinking. There are just no universal laws there. And boom, there's the diagnosis. The authors say this desire to create these beautiful, precise, physics-like equations to describe human behavior, that's the invisible worm. It's this hidden, corrupting flaw right at the heart of modern finance where elegance gets prioritized over messy, complicated reality. Okay, this brings us to the absolute core realization of the whole manifesto. And if you remember one thing, it should be this: the crucial difference between the model and the actual world it's trying to describe. So let's be super clear here. A model is not a crystal ball. It does not predict the future. The manifesto argues its real job is way more humble. It's basically a machine for turning your guesses, your intuitions about the future, into a single number, a price, for today. The input isn't magic. The input is human intuition. And they have this brilliant, absolutely perfect analogy for this problem. They say the world is the big, ugly stepsister's foot. It's complex, it's messy, it just doesn't fit neatly. And the model, that's the beautiful glass slipper. So to make them fit, you have to start cutting bits off, ignoring crucial, unpredictable parts of reality just to get a clean, elegant result. And the poster child for this whole mess was the models for collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs. Now, a CDO is basically a big bundle of thousands of individual mortgages all packaged up and sold to investors. The models tried to take this insanely complex web of relationships between all these homeowners, and just to make the math work, they reduced all that uncertainty, all that mess, down to one single tidy number: correlation. As the authors put it, the whole thing became elegantly ridiculous. And here it is. This is the ultimate warning shot. The big sin isn't using a model. No, the sin is idolatry. It's believing the model is the world. It's forgetting that the map is not the territory. And the moment you do that, you are actively, personally inviting the next disaster. Okay, so if that's the problem, what does a good model even look like? How can we use these incredibly powerful tools responsibly? Well, to answer that, the manifesto actually points to a really famous example: the Black-Scholes options pricing model. I love this. This is such a fantastic insight. A bad model just pretends the dirt isn't there, right? It hides its own flaws and assumptions. But a good model is honest. It doesn't just sweep the dirt under the rug. It puts up a big, flashing neon sign that says, hey, just so you know, there's a bunch of dirt under here that I'm totally ignoring. The manifesto explains Black-Scholes not as some kind of magic formula, but as a simple recipe. Think of it like pricing a can of fruit salad. It basically tells you, if you take these ingredients, stocks and bonds, and you combine them under these perfect, ideal, dirt-free conditions, this is what the final product, the option, should cost you to make. So its genius isn't its accuracy in the real world. That's not the point. Its genius is its transparency. It's built on a solid engineering idea of replication, not some abstract law of nature. A smart user knows exactly what assumptions are being made and what messy parts of reality are being ignored. You know precisely where the model's perfect little world ends and the real one begins. And all of this brings us to the manifesto's powerful and, frankly, timeless conclusion, a proposed Hippocratic oath for financial modelers. It's a set of principles to guide their work and, hopefully, prevent the sins of the past from happening again. The oath kicks off right here with a massive dose of humility. It's this fundamental acknowledgement that reality comes first. The world does not have to bend to our math. Our math has to humbly attempt to describe the world. And the next principle is a pledge to be totally, completely transparent. It's admitting that, yeah, sometimes you do have to cut off parts of the stepsister's foot to fit the slipper. But when you do it, you have a professional duty to announce it loudly and clearly to everyone. And it continues with a vow against giving people a false sense of certainty. A modeler's job isn't to make people feel safe. It's to arm them with a real understanding of the tool's limits. You have to expose every blind spot, every built-in flaw to every single person who uses it. The oath then just zooms out, forcing the modeler to look up from the screen and confront the huge, real-world consequences of their work. We're not just talking about numbers and spreadsheet here. These things can shape people's pensions, their jobs, even the stability of entire countries. And it ends on this profound final note. This is the ultimate expression of humility. It's admitting that even with the best intentions and the most brilliant math, the full impact of these tools can ripple out in ways we can never, ever fully predict or comprehend. So here's the bottom line. This manifesto, written over a decade ago about finance, has never been more important. As we rely more and more on AI and algorithms to make decisions about everything, from our health to our justice system, its central message is a vital warning for all of us. We must always remember the difference between the elegant model and the messy, beautiful, unpredictable world it claims to represent.